Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Humidity heading way up tomorrow, and so are our severe thunderstorm threats. We'll look at when we expect the roughest stuff coming up.
Heartbreak in Charlottesville as thousands pay tribute to the woman killed while protesting a white nationalist rally.
They tried to kill my child to shut her up. Well, guess what? You just magnified her.
Meanwhile, President Trump faces brand new fallout as the White House tries to do damage control. Thanks for being with us for the news here at 5. We are tracking several new developments tonight following President Trump's comments at an impromptu news conference where he appeared to defend white supremacist groups.
Let's get you caught up. The president is now facing a strong pushback from members of his own party that included a joint statement from former presidents George H.W. Bush and his son George W. Bush. Also today, the president dissolved 2 economic councils after several Fortune 500 CEOs resigned because of his comments.
General Motors CEO Mary Barra was on one of those councils, and she issued a statement just a short time ago. It reads in part, quote, "General Motors is about unity and inclusion, and so am I. Recent events, particularly those in Charlottesville, Virginia, and its aftermath require that we come together as a country and reinforce values and ideals that unite us," end quote. Blaine Alexander is at the White House where damage control is underway there. Blaine?
Well, Kimberly, that criticism today is coming from all corners, from CEOs and world leaders to just everyday citizens in some of the nation's reddest states.
Confederate monuments taken down, covered up, or slated for removal in Los Angeles, Baltimore, Birmingham, Alabama, and Wilmington, North Carolina, all in the wake of President Trump's latest remarks.
No more hate!
In Iowa, a state that helped put President Trump in the White House, today a march against hatred and against some of the very groups the president seemed to defend following that deadly violence in Charlottesville.
I think there's blame on both sides.
From some in the president's own party, outrage.
This is terrible. The president of the United States needs to condemn these kind of hate groups. Think about what you have seen.
As the nation's top business leaders, one by one, quit 2 of the president's advisory councils, the president announced he is just ending both. Top military commanders on Twitter, along with leaders in Germany and Great Britain, taking a stand against racism and extremism without mentioning the president by name. And a growing outcry from civil rights advocates.
You've described the president's remarks as dangerous. Why?
Absolutely. What it seems to do is add credence to those that would come armed to an event along those lines. It gives credence to those that do support segregation and white supremacy. What it looks like is we don't have a friend in the White House.
From the president, no comment today on these latest remarks as his motorcade leaves New York, returning to his New Jersey golf club.
And President Trump has scheduled a campaign-style rally set for next week in Arizona. At the White House, Blaine Alexander, Local 4.
Hey, Blaine, and now to Charlottesville, where more than 1,000 people packed a theater there today.
They were there to honor Heather Heyer, the woman who died Saturday when a car slammed into a group of people protesting white nationalists. Karen Drew joins us with what was a very emotional day in Virginia.
Very emotional indeed. Speaking in front of a crowd of 1,000, Heather Heyer's mother delivered a powerful and emotional message, bringing the crowd to its feet.
In the face of her pain, Susan Bro stood defiant.
They tried to kill my child to shut her up. Well, guess what? You just magnified her.
Her daughter, Heather Heyer, a 32-year-old legal assistant from Charlottesville, Virginia. Last Saturday, Heyer marched to protest white nationalists who descended on her city. Then a car plowed into her group and killed her.
No father should have to do this.
In front of a crowd of 1,000, family and friends remembered Heyer as kind, compassionate, and strong-willed, unwilling to remain silent about the injustice she saw all around her.
She loved people. She wanted equality. And in this issue of the day of her passing, she wanted to put down hate.
That same drive, that same passion, that same desire for justice, I think we saw it all through her life.
Heyer's mother challenged those who gathered to follow Heather's example.
Find what's wrong, don't ignore it, don't look the other way. You make a point to look at it and say to yourself, what can I do to make a difference?
It's a way, she says, to keep her daughter's memory alive.
I'd rather have my child, but by golly, if I got to give her up, we're going to make it count.
A call to action already being heard by some across the country.
No more hate! No more hate!
Meantime, James Fields Jr. is accused of using his car to intentionally cause the crash that killed Heyer. He faces second-degree murder and is being held without bond, but really everyone today is talking about her mother and her words. And, you know, everyone reacts differently, but for her to take such a prominent role in all of this and the words.
After all of that, we can't imagine what they're going through, but to stand up there and have such composure and, you know, share.
And they didn't ask for this. It's a huge issue, and they're right in the middle of it and holding strong.
Indeed, indeed. All right, Karen, thank you. All right, now to more on the removal of Confederate monuments. In response to the violence in Charlottesville, the city of Baltimore worked quickly to remove 4 Confederate statues in the middle of the night. About a dozen city workers and private contractors removed a statue of Robert E. Lee and Thomas Stonewall Jackson. City Council cited events in Charlottesville when it adopted a resolution calling for the immediate destruction of Confederate monuments in the city. And just into the newsroom, Michigan State University has announced it has received a request to hold an event on campus from a group led by white supremacist Richard Spencer.
Spencer was set to be a keynote speaker in Charlottesville before that violence broke out. And we just got the statement from Michigan State. It reads in part, "No decision has yet been made. We're reviewing the request closely in light of the deplorable violence in Charlottesville last weekend." Tonight, we're learning brand new information in the murder and dismemberment of this Macomb County teen, including the one big break in this case for police.
At a court hearing today, investigators testified it was one lone tip that helped crack the one-year-old case wide open.
Andrew Fiacco said online he prayed his best friend Stephen McAfee would come home safe. And now Fiacco is charged with his best friend's murder. Steve Garagiola following this for us tonight. And Steve, once again, social media being used as a key piece of evidence in a case.
Well, social media posts stick around forever and they can come back to haunt you. 1 year after Stephen McAfee disappeared, a tip led police to 2 shallow graves. And at that time, a missing persons case became a murder investigation. And now the accused murderer will go on trial. Stephen McAfee disappeared back in March of 2016. For nearly a year, police investigated what became a cold case. During that time, some of McAfee's friends posted comments to a Click on Detroit story about McAfee's disappearance. Among them was McAfee's best friend, Andrew Fiacco. This afternoon, a detective entered some of Fiacco's posted comments into evidence.
He will always be my best friend to me. Not even my best friend, he is family to me. He's like a brother to me. Praying to the Lord that he's safe and returns home soon. I miss him so much. Please come home, brother. We all miss you very much.
Now Fiacco stands accused of McAfee's murder. This morning, Dr. Daniel Spitz, Macomb County medical examiner, detailed what he and sheriff's deputies found in a shallow grave this past April.
We did a cursory look at some of the bones that were visible. It was very clear that this wasn't a complete skeletonized individual, that this was only the lower portion of an individual's body.
Andrew Fiacco allegedly shot McAfee 3 times and cut up the body and buried parts in 2 separate Macomb County locations about 10 miles apart. Investigators found the rest of the body in that second location.
What turned out to be a human skull and some ribs were identified. This was the majority of the skull was encased in cement.
Some pretty gruesome testimony today. Fiacco faces charges of first-degree murder, felony firearms, and mutilation of a body. Kimberly, Jason, back to you.
And Steve, there's also a second defendant in this case too, correct?
Yeah, that is Yvette McDonald. Now, she is the former girlfriend of Fiacco. They're not together anymore. She is charged as an accessory after the fact because she allegedly knew about everything that happened and did nothing about it. She waived her preliminary exam today, and she, too, will go on trial.
All right. Thanks for the update, Steve. We appreciate it. Kim?
All right, pretty nice weather for your hump day Wednesday today, but if you like it hot and humid, you're in luck, I guess.
We got you covered. You know, there's going to be a lot of moisture with these storms tomorrow, and some folks need some more rain.
We do need rain.
We just wish it wouldn't all come at once. And it could be coming with a little bit more than rain tomorrow. We're going to take a look at our shower and thunderstorm chances first in the morning. When we wake up for the morning commute, likely there are going to be scattered showers around. That's not going to be the worst of it. When we get into the afternoon, round 2 could turn severe, and you can see those a couple little bullseyes there where that heavy rain is going to be around, and that's going to stick around at least through the afternoon and evening hours, and then closer to about 11-12 o'clock we should dry out. So the bottom line on tomorrow's storm threat, we're looking at the afternoon and early evening. That's when we've got the bullseye out. 60-mile-an-hour winds possible, but there's also going to be heavy rain embedded with these storms, and it looks like just about everybody's under the gun as far as better risks across the area. We'll talk more on the timing and see what's to come for the weekend in just a few minutes. Guys?
And police in Detroit continue to investigate the bizarre case of a church that was hit by a car early this morning.
Yeah, it happened at the God's Holiness Church of Deliverance at 7 Mile and Ryopel on the city's east side. Police say the driver hit a light pole, then crashed into the church, leaving significant damage. Now police trying to figure out what happened to the car and the driver and how this all happened in the first place. We're just getting warmed up on a Wednesday.
Yeah, we've got much more coming up in this next hour of news, including the Local 4 Defenders report as Kwame Kilpatrick launches a new bid for freedom. And homes on the verge of being swallowed by sand and what the state is doing to stop it. Sean?
A Trenton teen has to work hard at everything she does, and boy, did she work hard to buy this bicycle.
I ran to my mom and I was crying that my bike was stolen.
But as you can see, a new bike is in its place at 5 o'clock. I'll tell you about this very special delivery.
It's time. New at 6.
There's a mystery unfolding on Grosse Ile, prompting a strange new rule for people living there. New at 6, why they're being asked not to use a common method for getting rid of rodents.
Plus, the man people trusted with their savings is accused of violating that trust. New at 6, we hear from one of the victims of an alleged Ponzi scheme operating out of Macomb County.
At 14 years old, Leah Tagger has dealt with a lot. A learning disability has made overcoming obstacles a lot harder for her.
So just imagine her pride when she saved up enough money from her first job to buy a bike. But just 2 days ago, that bike was stolen. Sean Lee is in Trenton with a very heartwarming turn of events.
14-year-old Leah Tunsil worked so hard to buy this bicycle. She put it away safely yesterday, and then someone made off with it. Leah Tunsil's bike is everything to her. She works through multiple learning disabilities. She does that by riding her bike to different tutoring classes. She wasn't handed a bike, she earned it, saving all summer by working a couple of challenging babysitting jobs. Yesterday, the bike was put away in a shed and someone stole it.
I ran to my mom and I was crying that my bike was stolen.
Leah wasn't just crying. Her mom says Leah was hysterical because she was responsible for her bike.
She was so hurt when it happened. She was screaming, crying up and down. She was just so hurt. Like, Mommy, I tried to take care of it.
Out of nowhere this afternoon, a knock at the door. 2 Trenton police officers were there.
He just knocked on the door. My son got the door. I'm like, what? And there's the bike.
The same officers that took Leah's report yesterday presented her with this brand new bike, the same one that was stolen from this determined young lady.
They felt bad. They felt bad that my bike was stolen because I worked so hard for getting this bike. I was really happy. I had no tears at all. I wish I wanted to cry, but I had no tears from yesterday. But it was no words to describe it, so I was really happy. Thank you so much to the Trenton Police Department. You guys are wonderful. This is a wonderful community to live in, and you guys always have our best interests at heart.
Back here live in Trenton, what don't you see? You do not see Leah. You don't see her new bike. She took off on it to her tutoring class. Jason, Kimberly, back to you.
That is fantastic. We don't see the Trenton Police either. Where are they tonight, and what are they saying?
That's true. I spoke to the director by phone. They're laying a little low on this one. The director of public safety says, look, his officers saw a need here. They took care of it themselves. This is something they wanted to do. They don't want to make any publicity out of it, so they're not going to say much about it. They're going to let the action speak for itself.
That's fantastic. I even looked on their Facebook page trying to find some more about it, and I didn't see anything there. And like you said, they're just wanting to lay low, and that's great. Sean, we appreciate it.
Sure thing.
Love those anonymous good deeds. Tonight's Powerball jackpot has grown to $430 million. That means a single winner could choose a cash payout of only $273 million, so you might want to think about that. There's still time to get tickets, though. They're on sale until 9:45 tonight. Stay with Local 4. We'll have the winning numbers on Local 4 News at 11. With any luck, we won't be here for the second block of news.
We'll all be gone.
You never know. Could be a lucky winner right here. We're all lucky in the weather department, though, right now.
So far, I mean, even though we've had the heat this week, the humidity is kind of taking a little vacation.
Right, but that's going to change.
Yes, it is. Tomorrow, at least just for one day. So if we can tough it out tomorrow, but that's unfortunately not going to be the worst of our concerns. Let's take a look at the storm impacts for tomorrow, because we are anticipating severe weather in the second half of the day. Of course, there's always a tremendous amount of lightning when you start talking about severe weather, but damaging winds looks like the most likely severe threat. We've kept flooding at a medium level. I don't think it's going to be widespread, but where these thunderstorms hit, there's going to be a lot of moisture and definitely some intense heavy rain in small pockets. So there could be some isolated road flooding in a couple spots. Hail not out of the question, and we've put tornadoes at low. Again, we can't rule it out, especially with that warm front getting close to us. There's going to be enough rotation that we're going to have to really keep our eyes on some of these thunderstorms, especially in the middle part of the afternoon tomorrow. So we're at 83 temperature-wise right now, and you look down here to the south, 87 in Fort Wayne, 90 in Muncie. I don't think that we're going to quite get there, but there is a lot of humidity hanging out down here. Mid to upper 60s, northern parts of Indiana, but you start getting a little bit further south, and here are the 70-degree dew points, which is that's South Carolina humidity down there. Kim can vouch for that. And that is going to be headed this way. Would not be surprised to see a couple 70-degree dew points show up tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, the thunderstorms that are on the radar tonight in Chicago are going to stay away from us, but we are going to get some increasing clouds overnight. That and the rising humidity is going to keep temperatures up. In fact, there will be some spots that may not make it out of the 70s. The rest of us mid to upper 60s for lows. Then we start turning our attention to tomorrow. Those showers in the morning, thunderstorms in the afternoon. Those are the ones that we'll be watching for possible severe weather. Should be out of here by midnight, and some wraparound rain. Slight chance is possible on Friday, more likely in our north and west zone, but I think a lot of us are going to stay dry with just cloud cover as we recover on Friday. So low or high temperatures for tomorrow. This is in your four-zone forecast. We'll start in the metro zone with numbers just a little bit higher than we are today. However, you start tacking on that humidity, it's going to feel a lot different. 84 officially at the airport. South zone temperatures mid to upper 80s here. And it all depends on when these thunderstorms fire as to how high these numbers get. Down here towards the state line, heat index readings could be topping upper 80s, close to 90 as we get into the afternoon. Temperatures tomorrow in our west zone, low to mid 80s here, and expect to see some 70s for highs in our north zone tomorrow. Again, depending on the timing of those thunderstorms, it could be as cool as 74 up in Lexington, closer to the lake. Otherwise, temperatures tonight down to 84 degrees, and we will be seeing those showers and thunderstorms developing right around daybreak tomorrow. It's the second half of the day when we'll watch for the severe weather. That'll take temperatures to 84 with an east wind at 5, and we will stay dry after that. Just a slight chance of a shower as we get into Saturday. And of course, Monday's eclipse is still looking bright across most of the country, I should say. By the way, we're going to be down in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which is one of the spots that's going to be on the path of totality. So they're going to see the sky go almost completely dark down there on Monday afternoon.
That'll be cool. Part one of that story was really interesting, how so many people travel all over the country for these. That was good.
It's addictive. Once you see one, you want to keep going.
Keep going, yeah. All right, Ben, thank you. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Jason and Kimberly. You know, it's an app that could make recovering from a concussion easier. Go ahead in good health, see how it works and why it might be especially helpful for teenagers.
But first, stories across Michigan, including this guy accused of killing his own grandmother, and that is just half the story. It's next. Across Michigan tonight, we're following stories from Pinconning and the town of Mears along the Lake Michigan shoreline.
But we want to start in Sparta. That's where 23-year-old Matthew Malo is charged with beating his grandmother to death. Police believe he killed the 85-year-old woman following an argument over a medical alarm. Sparta police say it was that alarm that sent them to the home that the two shared. When officers got there, Malo attacked officers and a paramedic. They then found his grandmother's body lying on the floor. Malo is charged with murder.
There will not be lawlessness in the small town near Bay City. Last night, the Pinconning City Council approved a new contract to keep its police force for at least 3 years. The city has one full-time officer and one part-time officer. The police department runs on a budget of about $110,000 per year. And finally, along Lake Michigan, officials are working to save a cottage from being overtaken by sand dunes.
An 80-foot tall dune at Silver Lake State Park is closing in on the cottage. You see it there. Since the dunes are classified as critical, the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality recently stopped the owners from taking truckloads of sand from the dune. However, the owner is now working to get the proper permits in hopes of saving the little cottage.
New at 5:30.
Kwame Kilpatrick wants out of prison, and he's representing himself. The defenders dig into his latest filing. We'll have the story coming up.
It was an unexpected miracle.
I was in a lot of pain, but the pain was familiar to me.
How an incredible twist of fate helped turn tragedy into joy.
It was a bizarre mother-daughter dispute that ended up as a murder case, and now it's moving through the courthouse.
Gather them. She's now officially charged. This expectant mother appears in court accused of stabbing her own mother to death. There were a lot of questions when we first brought you this story on Monday, and more remain tonight.
A woman allegedly stabbed her mother early Monday morning, and now she's facing murder charges. Rod Maloney was in the court today for the arraignment. And Rod, any new insight into what sparked this?
No, nothing. In fact, Karen, there are more questions asked than answered at this point in this case. But Kim Worthy, the prosecutor, did take some of the guesswork out of this by coming in with second-degree murder charges against the daughter.
Case number 1705.
31-year-old Jaquetta Ann Coopwood, 6 months pregnant, stood silent in the minute it took to arraign her on second-degree murder charges this afternoon. Prosecutor's office making the charge after Coopwood underwent psychiatric examination following her arrest early Monday morning. The magistrate entered a not guilty plea and set no bond. She'll remain in the Wayne County Jail until her next court appearance, at least. Dead is 55-year-old Pandora Hassan, Coopwood's mother, stabbed in the chest during a heated argument inside their Appeline Street home on Monday. Hassan was awake when emergency crews arrived but had complications and a heart attack. Later, she died in the hospital. Neighbor Cecilia Peace couldn't believe it when she heard the story right after the incident.
And something like this to happen it's shocking, and not only that, it's scary.
Peace also said she didn't really know Coopwood well and would see her sitting on a white chair outside the house on a regular basis.
I didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know she was the daughter. She was a young lady sitting in that white chair right there. And I'm sorry that happened, but you never know what's on people's minds.
So now there's going to be a probable cause hearing on August 23rd, but on the 29th of August will be the preliminary exam, and there we will likely get much more insight into precisely what happened, how this all was precipitated, and more about that psychological exam. Reporting live downtown, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod. A Detroit woman accused of leading Michigan State troopers on a chase before backing into a patrol car. Police say 47-year-old Shawana Parker drove through flares while troopers were at the scene of a crash early Monday morning. Investigators say she then refused to pull over and drove into an alley in Midtown before reversing and hitting a patrol car when she was cornered. No troopers were hurt in this. She was arrested and now faces several felonies, including assault with a dangerous weapon.
The images are still horrifying. 30 years ago today, Northwest Flight 255 took off from Metro Airport. Then, moments later, it crashed near I-94 and Middle Belt. 156 people died that fateful night. Steve Garagiola is live this evening. And Steve, for so many Metro Detroiters, the memories of this just come rushing back like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, that is so true. I was actually a sports reporter here in Detroit back in 1987, so I did not have to report on this tragedy. But for any of us who lived in this community then, it was impossible to remain unaffected. And it's hard to believe 30 years later, but the grief is still fresh for many people. At 8:46 p.m., Flight 255 crashed onto Middle Belt Road immediately after takeoff, the deadliest air disaster ever in Michigan.
The whole fuselage was glowing, and then there was a bang, and it just came down, and there's this big wall of fire.
The investigation quickly pointed to pilot error. They had failed to deploy the plane's flaps for takeoff, giving the jet no chance. 156 people died. 2 motorists driving on Middle Belt Road, 6 crew members, and 148 of the 149 passengers.
Okay, we have an approximately, looks like a 4-year-old little girl was found alive in the wreckage.
Cecilia Sheehan survived. Her brother, mother, and father all killed. She became known to the world as the Miracle Baby.
I just want to tell the world how happy I am that we have her, because we didn't think we had her, and now suddenly we found out that we do, and it was a miracle that we have, and I'm just expressing my thoughts on a miracle that the good Lord had given us.
Cecilia has spoken publicly about the crash only once, 5 years ago, as part of a documentary project of the world's 14 known air crash soul survivors.
Soul Survivor Project is more about a group, and that's why I'm willing to get involved and be part of something bigger.
Cecilia has remained very private over these 30 years. She has said she has no clear recollection, no clear memory of the crash, and nobody has a clear explanation of how she survived it. Karen, back to you.
And Steve, we know there's a vigil tonight. Is that correct?
Yeah, there is. Well, there are actually 2 memorials. At the memorial at Middle Belt and I-94 at 8:46, there will be a vigil and memorial service. And at the exact same time, a service happening in Phoenix, Arizona, because many of the families also lived in Phoenix and were equally affected by this.
All right. Thank you, Steve. By the way, this has been one of our most clicked stories all day on clickondetroit.com. We've posted pictures and video from that day. You can find the link right in the top stories section of the homepage.
Kwame Kilpatrick has launched a new bid to get himself out of federal prison. Today, the ex-Detroit mayor filed a request to have his sentence either reduced or vacated. Defender Kevin Dietz shows us why he thinks he should be a free man.
Kwame Kilpatrick is representing himself in this effort to get out of prison early. In this new motion, he takes us back in time when the feds say Kilpatrick was spending wildly out of the Kilpatrick Civic Fund. Kwame Kilpatrick is 47 years old. As it stands now, he will be released from federal prison in 20 years on September 8, 2037. He is asking the judge who issued the sentence to lower the number of years or let him out immediately. Among his arguments, ineffective counsel, court error during jury instructions, failure to prove a specific amount of money stolen, an incomplete and faulty verdict by the jury. Kilpatrick claims he was left with no representation for critical portions of the trial. Local 4 legal expert Neil Rockine reviewed the filing and says it's like a quarterback on his own 1-yard line throwing a Hail Mary pass with no receivers downfield, predicting Kilpatrick has 0 chance at success. In Kilpatrick's filing, he brings up the controversial Kilpatrick Civic Fund, which raised almost $2 million for voter education and improving the lives of children in Detroit. The feds say Kilpatrick used it as a personal ATM machine. Kilpatrick claims money spent for yoga, a California resort and spa, spy camera equipment, and golf was all approved by the board members and in line with the charity's mission to help Detroiters. The U.S. Attorney's Office will have plenty to say about the Kilpatrick Civic Fund and Kilpatrick's motion to vacate his 28-year sentence. The judge has ordered the federal government to respond in writing by September the 5th. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
All right, Kevin, we're expecting to learn more about the head of a 5-county park system here in Southeast Michigan that resigned amid an internal investigation.
You're talking about George Pfeiffer. He has submitted his letter of resignation after being put on paid leave back in June. The Huron-Clinton system has 13 parks in Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, Washtenaw, and Livingston counties, supported through property taxes. As of now, the agency cannot comment on what are called personal matters. A search and rescue is on for 5 missing crew members of an Army helicopter that went missing off the coast of Hawaii. It happened overnight when 2 Black Hawk crews were conducting training when one lost contact with the other. The UH-60 Black Hawk that went missing is believed to have gone down near Kaiana Point near Oahu. The U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Army, and local fire crews have worked through the morning to find debris to assist in the investigation. Mayor Mike Duggan and health officials are increasing efforts in the battle of infant mortality here in Detroit.
Today, the mayor announced a new partnership with Wayne State University and Sister Friend, which offers mentors for expectant mothers and other useful resources.
We are today announcing Baby Ride, supported by Lyft,
where every mom who signs up for Sister Friends will have a free ride to every prenatal appointment to make sure you can get to see your doctor.
The partnership also connects mothers with health insurance and prenatal care.
In Good Health tonight, a new approach to helping teenagers recover from a concussion.
Instead of taking away all of their technology, doctors are using it to help target lingering symptoms. Dr. Frank McGeorge here to explain how that works.
Well, Karen and Jason, you know, doctors like me generally recommend very limited screen time after concussion to prevent the brain from being overstimulated. But that approach can leave teens in particular basically feeling cut off from their friends. So this new app is really helping change that. Rachel Butler suffered multiple concussions over a 5-year span. Even with treatment, her symptoms persisted.
I had really bad headaches. I would sleep so much. I was really irritable all the time.
Then her doctor suggested an app called Super Better. It's a tool that encourages the patient to battle foes like dizziness and headaches.
Instead of, oh, I'm so frustrated, I can't get rid of this headache, it rewrites it to say, did you battle the headache bad guy today?
Researchers at Ohio State also wanted to see if the app could help fight the isolation and depression of being cut off from screen time.
We wanted to test, was it possible for them to use screens just a little bit each day and get the bang for the buck with that.
The results are encouraging. In teens treated for concussions who did not use the app, only half reported improved symptoms. The other half said symptoms got worse, and there was no improvement in optimism about recovery. But in teens who did use the app, all reported improvements in both symptoms and optimism.
I'd wake up the next morning and be like, well, I feel better. Like, maybe this stuff actually works. Having all the screens taken away was too much, but then when you added something in that was still beneficial, it helped a lot.
Now, the app also allows family and friends to join the game, reestablishing some of that social connection in a controlled way. Now, Super Better is available in your app store, and it's also being tested for reducing symptoms of anxiety and depression related to it.
Interesting, especially because they'd always told you to avoid.
Right. This is kind of a twist, but, you know, this is a controlled circumstance, and it has a very specific purpose.
All right. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
All right, Karen, I have a business proposition for you. We're going to start a business that's guaranteed to have 70,000 potential customers at least 15 times a year.
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But what if we closed on the days that we're supposed to be most potentially profitable?
That doesn't sound so good.
No.
No.
No, it doesn't.
That kills the business plan.
It probably would. Well, we're going to show you exactly who is doing that coming up next.
Also, what led to 5 people being rushed to the hospital at a resort near Disney? Evrod?
She went to the hospital to find out what was wrong and left with a completely different diagnosis. I'm Evrod Kasmi. Coming up, what doctors say was really wrong with one woman that was nothing short of a miracle.
New at 6.
Imagine having a train that can just come through your community and stop blocking multiple intersections at a time. This has done that. In fact, this is the first time it's moved in close to 15 minutes. But now the city of Huron Township is trying to do something about it. It's pretty high tech.
All right, thank you, Nick. Plus, a woman attacked by her son's dog in Roseville takes the stand to testify at his hearing. The new twist in this case, new at 6.
This woman was commemorating the anniversary of her child's death when she was unexpectedly rushed to the hospital herself.
And what happened next was not only a complete surprise, but something that turned heartbreak into hope and joy. Evrod Kasmi shares their incredible story.
This is Zentavia Jean Marie.
August 4th is a date Elise Geist will never forget.
This one's still at the hospital. This is day 1 with her.
It's the date her first daughter came into her life, but not for very long.
She passed away on January 3rd, and these are New Year's, so right before. And she was, you know, just a happy little girl.
Her death so soon after celebrating New Year's was one no one expected.
We had her in the emergency room that night, and she had an ear infection. And we went home thinking everything, you know, would be fine, and she just didn't wake up the next day.
Now, every year, family and friends gather to commemorate her short life.
I remember the first time she laughed. She was taking a bath. And it was just out of nowhere.
But this August 4th, on what would have been Zen's golden birthday, Elise was experiencing physical and emotional pain.
I was in a lot of pain, but the pain was familiar to me.
That afternoon, Elise went to the hospital hoping to find out what was wrong. And after a lot of back and forth, an hour and 45 minutes later, she had a 6-pound, 7-ounce baby 15 minutes before her sister's memorial.
For Mira to come on that day, just on her own, I don't have words.
While Mira's birth was a surprise to both mom and dad, Cassidy Rector,
my parents said they can never have enough grandbabies,
who despite the whirlwind birth acted as many dads do.
I was freaking out. Like, I don't know what to do. What can I do? Like, the only thing that I knew what to do was I just grabbed Lisa's hand.
The family quickly moved from a memorial in the park to a celebration in the delivery room.
A little bit of happiness for the sadness.
Now, August 4th will be remembered by Elise as a day of grief, a day of joy, but most of all, a day of love for both of her girls.
It's just amazing that she now has a sister to share that celebration with.
Evrod Cassimy, Local 4.
What an amazing story. Mom says since the baby came as a complete surprise, she's had a lot of shopping to do because they had nothing at home prepared for a newborn, but it is something that she is happy to do.
Boy, that sure is incredible.
On the same day.
15 minutes before?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, this week, the Atlanta Falcons unveiled their new $1.5 billion stadium.
It's got pretty much everything any football fan could want, including a Chick-fil-A, which is great. Catch a little football, enjoy a little Chick-fil-A. One problem with that, Chick-fil-A as a company isn't open on Sundays, and it's not going to be. That's bad news for fans since the Falcons only have one home game that isn't on a Sunday this year. Their matchup against Seattle on Thursday, December 7th. So the line might be pretty long that night. It is a 70,000 seat stadium. 70,000 potential customers.